Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Ворогам України тричі!
Смерть! Смерть! Смерть!
My friends, we've engaged with our opposition many times, but we are dealing with people who are not speaking on good faith. We're dealing with people who are either delusional, brainwashed, or simply disingenuous. That is what our opposition is like. As we've mentioned before, many times, we go ahead and we have a back and forward civilized discussion with them. However, they are unable to uphold such a discussion and to prove their point with decorum and with good manners. They can't string two words together. All they can do is sometimes pass by here and shout something like Slava России or Великий Советский Союз, as the guy shouted a while ago. I still remember him, very funny guy. You know, he was with a group of his protesters, like some people protesting something over there on the other side of the road. And he just came out of his group to shout this, and then he went back to the group. I mean, truly a brave man, I'm sure you'll agree. But I digress, my friends. Our message is too important to be diluted with such word juggling of our opposition. So we need to be concise, we need to be precise, and we need to be unequivocal about our message. Because our message needs to be sent to everybody around the world so that people know the truth and so that people can make an informed decision. That, my friends, is what democracy is built upon. That is what we stand here for. That is what Ukraine wants to have. Ukraine wants to be part of the free world. But Russia does not want to allow Ukraine to do as such. Russia has stolen lands from the Ukrainian people and it refuses to give them back. Russia has kidnapped tens of thousands of children from Ukraine and now is trying to re-educate them and to brainwash them to become their next wave of cannon fodder sent to Ukraine to fight against their own people. We could call this sort of a neo-janissary movement from the Russian terrorist regime. Of course, they would go back to history to fetch every single disgusting practice throughout human history. I wouldn't be surprised if slavery becomes legal in Russia in a month or two. Not long ago, there's been an announcement by one of the spokespeople of NATO. Excuse me. This spokesperson has said that we should be prepared for a possible war with Russia in the next 20 years. Well, my friends, I'm afraid that interpretation is way too optimistic. We believe that we need to be prepared for a war with Russia now. Because if Russia thinks that they can get away with invading a NATO country, they will. Make no mistake, what stopped Russia from invading NATO is not the mere word NATO, it's not the mere name, not the mere prestige of belonging to NATO. It is the threat of inevitable and overwhelming military retaliation, consequences. That is what Russia fears. That is the only thing that will dissuade Russia from attacking any other country besides Ukraine. Think about it. Ukraine had the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. Ukraine had a huge stash of Soviet weapons. They given up everything in exchange for peace agreements. And what did the Russians give us in return? A knife in the back. That's what, my friends. Because Russia is just the way it is. A country-sized criminal syndicate and a terrorist state. Russia is a terrorist state.
Russia is a terrorist state.
Russia is a terrorist state.
Russia is a terrorist state.
Russia is a terrorist state.
Russia is a terrorist state.
Stop Russia, stop the war.
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 Arm Ukraine, protect Europe.
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 We can no longer delve into politics of appeasement. We can no longer try to imagine this world where Russia is negotiating in good faith, where Russia is going to keep their word simply because they gave it. The only thing that could ever force Russia to keep their word is if the other side is stronger. And if they think, if they're certain that the other side is willing to retaliate, that, my friends, is the problem of the West. Because the West is stronger. If you remove the United States from NATO, the other members could wipe the floor with Russia. And the United States by themselves, well, they could engage every other military in this world and still come on top. So we don't have to even have that discussion. 1%, that's the amount of aid comparatively to the investment in the American military that we have been given. 1% of the American investment in their military. And yet some stupid individuals complain. They say that that's too much. They say that this is not their war. Well, my friends, who was it that gave assurances to Ukraine in the Budapest Memorandum? Not only Russia, by the way. Spoiler alert. It was an agreement between more countries than just Ukraine and Russia. It was an agreement between Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, UK, and US, in which France and China were kind of participants, but in a bit of a more peripheral way. So let's not forget about that. This aid to Ukraine is no charity. Do not misplace that word, my friends. This aid is the West keeping its word, given so long ago to the Ukrainian people. A promise of world peace. A promise that Ukrainians wanted to contribute to. A promise that was betrayed by the Russian terrorist regime, and that will continue to be betrayed by the different terrorist states on this earth until we finally take initiative. I'd like to ask to everybody here, and anybody who can hear us, and especially to everybody who opposes us, what's the point of having a good ideology, of having good intentions, of speaking well, without any action to back it up, without any power to prevent yourself from being destroyed by those who care not for the veracity of your words? What's the point? I'll tell you, my friends, there is no point unless we are able to stand together, unless we are able to see Russia for what it truly is, an aggressive militaristic country against which only military might will work. We can't negotiate with them. They have betrayed negotiations in the past, many times, countless times. And we've made a list many times about all the most important treaties that they have betrayed. What kind of a fool would believe them again, expecting them to this time, after so many betrayals, to keep their word? We cannot be fools, my friends. We need to see reality as it is, not as what we want to see. We can make it what we want it to be if we act. But without that action, as the saying goes, The pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. And without decisive action against the Russian terrorist regime, without the unification of the free world, without full-blown provisions of military equipment, everything the Ukrainians need to finally end this war, without that, this war will not end, my friends. And we could actually lose it if we don't take initiative against the Russian terrorist regime and against the other terrorist regimes who are helping them. The West is far more powerful than these three countries combined. And yet, why is it that it's North Korea, Iran, and Russia who are dictating the pace of this war between freedom and slavery, of this war between the past and the future? It's up to every single one of us to decide where we want to go back to the past, to medieval ideologies, to modern day witch hunts, or to move into the future, into a better world, a world of peace, a world of prosperity, a world of trust, a world where international relations are respected and treaties are upheld. That is the world we want to move into. And if you, my friends, agree that we should all stand together, but before that, of course, we need to inform the other people, those who don't know and those who have forgotten about what really needs to be done to move into the future. World, wake up!
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 World, wake